30 Days by It's_Kingston on AO3. Episode 8, Chapter 5, September 1st. The obnoxious beeping coming from Luce's alarm caused her to roll over and stop it before trying to go back to sleep. Minutes later, Amity was pestering Luce to get up, or risk being late. Fine, Luce groaned as she got out of bed. Seeing Amity dressed up in uniform and ready to leave, it was, again, reentaining in Luce's mind how weirdly good she looked in it. Luce tugged to the closet and got dressed inside, putting her basketball uniform on. When she came back out, Amity was gone. Presumably on her way to classes, Luce picked up her bag and looked around for her water bottle, which wasn't where she left it. Why was it on her desk? Luce wondered as she grabbed it off of Amity's table. Below it was a note, and Luce assumed Amity moved her bottle to make sure she saw it. She could tell it was hastily written, a last-minute decision by the smushed numbers. My number. If you annoy me, I'll block you. The note said. Luce smiled as she picked the paper and headed out the door. In the back of her mind, she wondered if she could catch up with Amity and maybe walk with her. But Luce knew that the Blight's reputation and what the family had gone through to keep it. With a sigh, Luce turned towards the court and walked off. Good morning, Luce said as she walked in, to no one in particular. The familiar beaming lights and the squeaking of shoes welcomed her. Hey, we've been waiting for you, Boscha said as Luce walked over. I'm not late, Luce said blankly, looking around the court and a small group of kids passing balls to each other. Coach wanted all team members in her weird little office at 7, which is way too early for anyone, Boscha said as the pair began navigating through the groups of students scattered around. No one told me that, Luce said, obviously annoyed by the new discovery. Apparently it was on the back of the slip you were given, Boscha sighed, stepping by an unlabeled door. Really? I thought it was just a paper saying I made the team, Luce said, watching as Boscha knocked on the door. Come in. Boscha swung the door open, almost hitting someone in the process. That room is way too small, she groaned, gesturing for Luce to step in closer. Like Boscha had said, the room was packed, with 4 people, Miss Clawthorne and 3 kids were there, not including Luce and Boscha, who stood in the doorway. Luce assumed that the coach's office was a cupboarded closet. A small desk and a chair were cramped inside, taking 80% of the room, dimly lit by a single light bulb on the ceiling. Luce could barely make out the theme of the office. Were those owls? Okay, glad you all are here, kids. You 5 made the main team, but that doesn't mean you could slack off. If I think you aren't going to be useful, I won't hesitate to replace you. A muttered wave of okays and sure came from the office, the 5 students trying to rush quickly through the coach's opening message to get to the stuff they wanted to know. I'm sure you all want to know, Miss Clawthorne began, practically reading their minds. When do you get your uniforms? B, what's the team name? And C, who's the team captain? Luce was barely containing her excitement as she stood there listening, hoping she'd hear her own name. Sure, it wouldn't be the end of the world if she wasn't team captain, but it'd definitely be an amazing opportunity. First off, uniforms. We'll be here sometime before your first game, which is next week on Tuesday. As you could probably tell, the team colors are yellow and blue. The coach threw her arms out, accidentally smacking the girl beside her. The Hexside Banshees. That's pretty badass, Boscha said, smiling at the spectacle. Luce hummed in agreement, not taking her eyes off of Miss Clawthorne. The leader of the Banshees is... Luce could already tell Miss Clawthorne really enjoyed making people wait. Or she really liked having dramatic effect. Either way, it worked. Luce stood there impatiently. She'd been bouncing with anticipation if she wasn't crowding up against a door frame beside Boscha Linyard. While Luce wasn't ecstatic about not being team captain, she was glad it was her friend. She looked over at Boscha, who was grinning and laughing. Now, you all get out and go practice or something. Nothing is mandatory, unless it's a game or a meeting. If you slack off, I'll kick you off the team. We clear? Even though they probably should have been listening to the important-sounding threats from their coach, Boscha and Luz instead went off. Hell yeah! Boscha half screamed, getting the attention of basically everyone. Congrats, Luz said, smiling brightly as she bumped fists with Boscha. I bet it was close. Between us, I mean. You're pretty good too. Boscha said genuinely, grabbing a stray ball and tossing it to Luz. Wanna play? Oh, wait. Luz turned around to see 3 girls from earlier walking over. Hey, Luz said, waving slightly at the 3. We wanted to talk to you two. Since we have a game, I thought we should strategize. One of the girls said, I think we should actually know who we're playing with first. Boscha said, Oh, yeah, the girl said, laughing awkwardly. I'm Sarah, master strategist, she explained. I'm Kat, said the girl to Sarah's left, waving at the pair. Oh, I'm Amelia, the last girl said, smiling. I'm Luz, nice to meet you. I think you already know, but I'm Boscha. Back to strategy, I was thinking. Sarah explained her idea, and the 5 of them ran through a different playing plays and moves she'd come up with. You're really good at this, Boscha said, bumping shoulders with Sakia. Thanks, she replied, watching as Luz dribbled past Kat and shot the ball. We all work well together too, so that helps a lot. Hey, come over here, Boscha said, waving the other 3 members to come to them. Who's next? Oh, actually, I don't have anything else planned right now. We were able to run through everything quicker than I thought, Sakura said, grabbing her phone and scrolling through what was probably an absurd amount of notes. But if we all could meet tomorrow and practice, that would be great. Yeah, that works, Boscha said. 8 a.m. tomorrow, good with everyone? The 5 of them agreed on the time and went their separate ways. Boscha and Luz instantly headed to the cafeteria. I have to get up at 6 and then not eat until 12? I'm a growing 19-year-old. I need better than this, Boscha complained as they crossed the hallway. Agreed, Luz said back. Sure, they had the time to eat before practice, but eating right before playing wasn't a good idea in Luz's experience. They quickly grabbed lunch, Boscha getting a plate of nachos and Luz getting a chicken sandwich. Luz was pretty sure Boscha had eaten half her lunch before they even got to the table, but was too hungry to comment on it. Once both had finished eating, which only took a few minutes, they just sat there quietly. This is weird, Boscha said, tapping at the table as she pulled out her phone. Just me and you don't hang out outside of the basketball field. Flower is normally here to keep the conversation going. Yeah, where is she? Luz asked. I just asked. I guess she got held up by someone, though. We have lunch at the same time, normally, Boscha replied. Hey, this weekend, do you want to hang out? I was gonna ask Flowers if she wanted to. Nah, I wouldn't want to ruin your date, Luz teased, getting an annoyed glare from Boscha. I'm kidding. Can I invite someone too? Yeah, sure. We're just gonna walk around town and see what there is to do, Boscha said back, looking at her phone again. Oh, yeah, I forgot she was helping move the stuff from the garden club today. I didn't know we had one of those, Luz said, watching Boscha as she stood up. Tell me about it. Ever since she found out we had one, she practically lived there. I'm gonna go take her lunch and go help move stuff. Give me your number real quick and we'll figure out all what we're doing this weekend, Boscha said. Sounds like a plan, Luz replied, giving Boscha her number. Cool. See ya. Boscha waved as she walked out, pulling up a sandwich as she left. As Luz put her phone back into her pocket, a note fell out, and she was reminded of this morning. Oh yeah, I wonder if she's busy. Luz pulled the number into her phone and smiled. Okay, alright. Boscha being team captain, I should have seen this coming. I've kind of been neglecting recording, and I'm not as far ahead as I used to be. So at one point I was a week ahead, and now I am one day ahead. Yeah, I've fallen off the wagon, but I'm going to get really far ahead soon enough again. I don't want to continue being just 1 week ahead. I really fell off. If I'm being honest, I have no one to blame but myself and falling out of schedules. So that was on me. That's my bad. But I'm gonna get back onto it. Definitely gonna be recording like a bunch of videos in like a couple weeks. And by a bunch, I mean at least 6 videos a day. Yep, you heard me. 6 videos a day. Imagine my pain. I'm in pain! Okay, but anyways, notes on this. So far, I'm really liking it so far. It is really good. It's really nice. Amity, why did you leave your phone number? Amity, you didn't have to do that. Emily, that wasn't part of the rules. Amity. I can't wait to see how gay this goes. I noticed that this chapter is a whole lot bigger than the ones previously, so if this follows what normally Kingston does, the first couple chapters are quite small, while the remaining last chapters are longer. I've noticed you do this, Kingston. This is not a bad thing. I notice a lot of authors actually do this. Fanfiction authors specifically, right? Which is not a bad thing. I don't mind. I know some people really don't like really long chapters. I know when I started reading fanfictions, I despised long chapters. Like every time I saw long chapters, I would sigh because I was like, what? Why? Why would you do this to me? Why would you do long chapters to me? But I did enjoy that this was a long chapter. I do now enjoy long chapters, and like I don't mind them as much, right? One of my favorite fanfictions have long as fuck chapters. I mean, the chapters alone can be a book. They're book length chapters, which is interesting. But yeah, anyways, this was all nice. I don't have much to say. So, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.